I am here with Jotham from Century Cinemax.
Hello.
Thank you very
And
much for joining us. Do you still think cinema is the magic of families in today's day and age?
From a sentimental, maybe romantic perspective, I would say yes. I like to say it's an adventure. It takes you out of the real world and puts you somewhere. Pragmatically, I'd split it. I would say there's a lot more competition now. Yeah, so cinema is one of the experiential adventure points that families can still enjoy today. From an East African perspective, our best year was 2018 with Black Panther coming out. The superhero business was boom for the business. Yeah. Then obviously COVID happened and all that stuff. So there's a lot more competition now. There are a lot more economical factors that weigh in on people's decision-making process. But one thing, despite all that, one thing we've realized is if the movie is good, the numbers still come. East Africa as a whole is more critical in the thinking process when it comes to entertainment than West Africa. West Africans can tend to be a bit more forgiving when it comes to their movies in cinema. They'll tend to be a bit more, their suspension of belief is like a lot more accommodating. Whereas here in East Africa, we're more critical than them. And then now further within the East African bubble, Kenyans are more critical than Ugandans and Tanzanians. So all those aspects play a role as well in terms of the performance of certain movies. But either way, bottom line is if the movie is good, the numbers go up.
And so how do you decide which movies to show in the cinema?
So there's certain movies that have to be shown because of the genre. So we're not in the era of the movie star anymore. We're not in an era where a big name can put bums on seats, especially the name of an actor or an actress. I would say there are probably very, very few who are like that. Maybe Tom Cruise, for example. But that's also attached to the genres that they've built their brand on. For example, Tom Cruise for the past few years has been related to the Mission Impossible genre. Yeah. So I'd love to see what happens if he does a romantic comedy. It may not be the same pool. So now we have Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan is one of those few directors, him and James Cameron, where guys are like, I like this guy's work, but again, comes down to the genre of work he does. So we're in that era right now. So that also plays a role in the kind of movies released. In our market, East African market, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Zambia, action movies are number one. Okay. People love the action adventure movies. Those are number one. Then the movies that don't do so well at the bottom are rather 50-50 are horror movies. So from a data perspective, we're like any horror movie that comes, we tend to be we tend to scrutinize it. Yeah. We always do a lot of projection and numbers for every release. So even if it's guaranteed we're releasing a certain movie, the goal there is okay, how can we make it do better numbers than before? So you have projections based on that. So we're projecting higher returns, and based on those projections, we work backwards, marketing strategy and all that, and spend to see how we can make it actually perform better.
Do you feel that maybe over a generation people were preferring maybe horror movies when they were younger, then maybe action movies when they're older, and then slightly like romantic movies now that they're much older? Does that change as people evolve in their lifestyles?
That's a very interesting question. From a data perspective, we don't have specific data that shows that. Right now, we realize, and maybe to jump ahead, with the age of VOD, video on demand, with Netflix and Showmax, people now tend to decide, this is what I'm going to go watch in cinema, this is what I'm going to watch at home. So you find for the most part, and especially for a market, people prefer to watch documentaries and indies at home on the small screen because they don't feel it's too much of a risk for them financially, as opposed to coming here and you're watching that on the big screen and you walk out, you're like, that was a downer for me. Yeah. Or if it's a documentary, we never release documentaries in cinema because documentaries do absolute zero business for the audience. Yeah. So that's how we've seen the audience kind of segregates how and what they watch as things come.
What would you recommend cinema etiquette should be, and have you ever found anything unusual? So
the mess part, I would say personally, comes with the territory. Yeah. I may not have a problem with it, but then again, I may be biased because I'm not the one who does the sweeping. But that is okay. That comes with the territory. Because even I've had to accidentally spill popcorn. You're walking up the steps, you're walking down the steps, or you're walking in. That does tend to happen. But some of the things that we don't absolutely like is placing your feet on the chairs, on the seat in front of you. No. We do have recliner seats in some of our screens, that allow guys, to recline and place your sit up. So you can use those seats for that. But we do have a crowd in other screens, like they place their feet on the seats in front of them. Yeah, there may be no person in front of them, but then don't do that. We have caught guys making out several times in the screen. Now the younger crowd, like the teenagers and whatnot, and we've caught guys like even try to go all the way.
Oh.
So that's obviously a no-no. Then phones on in cinema screens, chatting, talking loudly, taking selfies, recording. Those for me tend to be that's very annoying. Yeah, and it's very wrong for the other consumers, yeah. But we've seen a lot of stuff, sunglasses, wallets, just the typical stuff.
So what movies are you looking forward to for this year?
The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan. Interested to see what Avengers Doomsday will be about, like how they execute it, given the current track record. Their movies haven't really been hitting the mark of late, so I'm just curious to see if this redeems them. June 3, The Messiah and Avengers Doomsday are releasing on the same day in December. So the hashtag online now is Dunesday.
And you also do private screenings.
Yeah.
Is that where people can show their own movies, or?
So private screening, just the bottom line is it's a screening that's not open to the public. So whether you want to have a private screening of what we currently have on our schedule, or you want to bring your own movie, a movie you've made, or an older movie, whatever is on the screen, even if it's just a corporate presentation. There was one last year that I found very, I think, pretty romantic. Like this lady, her husband is an anime fan. So she booked the entire screen just for him to watch a specific anime movie. She was just on time because it had finished running in cinema, I think, a month back. So I had to call around and see, because the movies come in, there's a soft file. We have the movie's soft file in the projectors. Massive, like 200 GBs and stuff like that. And before anybody asks, no, we can't give you a USB to watch at home, because the format is very different. The file is formatted to play or encrypted to play on the specific software and hardware we have in our projectors, which are very different from regular projectors. So I found that very cool.
Sweet or salty popcorn?
Salty.
Front row or top row?
Middle row.
Ooh. Solo movie date or friends?
Friends.
Okay.
I do a lot of solo ones, because before movies release, we have to watch them in advance. So sometimes I tend to do a lot of that alone.
And would you watch a movie on opening night or later on?
I shouldn't say this, but yeah, so sometimes I don't watch the movies in advance. I'm supposed to, but I kind of duck, because I'm like, if I watch it now, my friends will know it's a bad movie if I didn't like it, because I'll be dodging questions on my face. Yeah. So I would say after opening. So business-wise, professionally, I have to watch, and I tend to watch like some of them before. When it's within my power, I just try to go for opening or after.
Okay.
I think cinema is amazing. Like, I grew up a cinema fan, I think, from before the age of 4. My dad got me into that whole thing: cinemas, comic books, gaming. So I think that's pretty much in my system now. It's my dad's profession. So to all of you guys, number one, obviously come to cinema. Just plug that in and come to Century Cinemax. Number two, just love the movies. Yeah, there's some movies that are just really terrible right now. But we really love to have your banter and chit-chat on that as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.